Elevating your home style does not have to mean a complete makeover or breaking the bank. Sometimes, choosing the right decor elements can make all the difference. From textiles to accent mirrors, we'll explore 8 decor items that can instantly elevate your home. And I'll also share my thoughts on things to skip. Because let's be real, many decor items are a waste. You might see textiles like the throw blanket on your couch or the cushion on your armchair as merely functional items. But the truth is, they can totally transform a space. Take this room from my past project as an example. If I left the living room with just a cream rug and plain sofa, and didn't layer in the earthy cushions and olive green throw blanket, the space would have felt completely uninspiring. This is just one small example, but I bet you can already see the transformative effect of textiles. They can add contrast and visual interest and make spaces much more dynamic. Luckily, it's not difficult to add textiles if you haven't done so already. They come in all shapes and sizes, from throws and towels to rugs, curtains, upholsteries, and cushions, so the sky is your limit. Plus, they're made from all kinds of materials like linen, velvet, cotton, and wool. You don't need to include every type, but trust me, a mix will do wonders for your home. The secret to doing textiles well is creating visual and tactile contrast, which you can do through mixing patterns or experimenting with colors and scales. At the very least, have a mix of materials and weaves, and pair cool tone colors like blue or gray with warmer earth tones like brown or mustard to create a balanced and inviting space. Another great thing about using textiles as decor is that they're so easy to swap out. You can completely change the vibe of a room by just switching up a few pieces. Many people, myself included, like to make seasonal changes. Lighter fabrics like linen and cotton are perfect for spring and summer, while richer, more textured fabrics such as velvet, corduroy, and wool are perfect for fall and winter. Layering, contrast, and texture. These are all important elements that many people often miss. I have a guide on secrets to a beautiful home which you can download for free to help you with all of this. Plus, it also comes with a decorating checklist that you can use to help improve your home. Every room needs some lamps or light fixtures, and every room is better with them than without. Sure, they're functional, but they're also a fantastic opportunity to add some flair. There's so many table and floor lamps out there beyond your typical empire shade lamp. Just take a look at a few of these examples that have literal ceramic sculptures as bases, or these ones that have non-traditional shades or organic shapes. You can also think of the actual beam of light coming out of the lamp as a decor piece. A lamp may have a spot beam which focuses light in a narrow concentrated area, which would be perfect for reading, or to highlight an architectural feature or texture, while one with a soft, diffuse beam may cast delicate shadows on the edges of your room's walls and affect how colors appear in your room. There's also shades that can cast interesting shadows and patterns on walls and floors. Experimenting with ephemeral layers of visual texture like light and shadow is something really unique that not many people do. Interior design and decorating is often centered around visual aesthetics. We're all obsessed with how a space looks. But we can't forget that a home's atmosphere is influenced by more than what meets the eye. I want you to now imagine walking into space with a distinct, pleasant aroma. Maybe that's a subtle vanilla scent, the smell of freshly baked bread, or just the smell of fresh air in spring. Now imagine walking into the same room, but instead of smelling these lovely things, you smelled vinegar or garbage. How horrible would that be? You wouldn't want to go to that place anymore regardless of how nice the space looked. It is proof that smell can completely transform the vibe of your home. And the best part? It is so easy to do. Light a candle, fire up a diffuser, or go all natural and crack open a window if the air is fresh outside. Get a dehumidifier if your room is super humid so it doesn't smell funky all the time. Or a HEPA-rated air purifier if you live in places with lots of pollution. Trust me, this small change will make a huge difference. Trays, bowls, and baskets may seem like mundane items, but they can be both decorative and functional. Decorating an entire room can feel overwhelming, but focusing on smaller areas, like styling a tray on a coffee table or console, makes the process much more manageable. Trays also act as an anchor. They group your things together and make it feel like one cohesive display instead of a bunch of things floating around. Bowls on a table or console are really handy for things like your keys, sunglasses, wallet, and other things you take with you. In the kitchen or dining area, a fruit bowl usually makes for a nice decor piece and also a nice way to store fruits or snacks. I'd also like to add baskets to this list. I like them for gathering random bits and pieces around, or to simply use them as temporary storage for things that I want to give away. Thoughtful arrangement of dinnerware and glassware can instantly elevate your space. Now, I'm not saying to lay out a fancy table arrangement for every meal, because frankly, who has the time for that, right? But having a few nice cups to enjoy your morning coffee, some gorgeous ceramics for your hot drinks, or a stylish bowl for your meals, it is totally worth the investment. There's the tactile feeling that is often lost in social media, as everything we see on screen is two-dimensional. But how we interact with objects in real life actually makes a big difference to how we perceive the experience. The great news is that none of these things have to be expensive. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I remember growing up we had a cabinet full of those freebie mugs from weddings and corporate events, and I've always hated those. There's just something about drinking out of a mug with a stranger's face or a bank's logo that kills the vibe for me. Add a few plants and you'll notice your home instantly feel cozier and more inviting. Plants not only bring a touch of the outdoors inside, but also help to brighten your mood and create a calm and relaxing space. A tall plant in the corner is always a great way to add height and drama, but I also like sprinkling in smaller plants around the house. Hanging plants are a great way to add movement to a shelf or simply hang them from the ceiling. Fake plants can also be an option, and I know many people are against them. But I understand that not everyone has the time and patience to take care of plants, or room with enough sunlight for plants to thrive. My only suggestion is to take the time to find ones that look quite realistic, because there's so many out there that frankly looks quite ridiculous, like this monstera tree which doesn't even exist in real life. I've seen a lot of newly built homes come with just one mirror in the bathroom. Sure, it is great for doing your hair or face, but not so much when you need to see your entire outfit. This is where a full-length mirror comes in. You can even pick one with an eye-catching frame, and now you have a handy spot for outfit check and a standout decor piece in your room. If you've got a beautiful view, try placing the mirror across from the window. It'll create the illusion of an additional window in your space. The same can be done with a smaller accent mirror as well. Beyond their functional use, mirrors can totally change the vibe of a room by bouncing light around, making everything feel a little bit brighter and a little more spacious. This is especially handy if you have a smaller room or apartment and want to create the illusion of a larger space. Sometimes we get caught up in the seriousness of design. We want things to look a certain way, or everything perfectly balanced and on point. But it's always important to keep in mind that your home is yours. It should tell your story. So, don't be afraid to showcase things that have meaning to you, even if they don't fit into the latest design trends. I have this little crude object that I place on my desk, which probably goes against all rules out there, but I personally love it. It is a handmade ceramic by artist Ryota Aoki, and I got it from a super fancy gacha machine in Tokyo. Sure, it's a little out there, but it brings back memories every time I look at it. Flat pillow inserts often just look sad, no matter how expensive or nice the cover is. The most beautifully styled rooms always have full plush cushions, and the trick is actually easy. You just need to buy inserts that are slightly larger than the cover itself. Usually going one size up works, so an 18 by 18 inserts work best for a 16 by 16 cover. Many big box stores, but not all, will sell you inserts with almost no filling that are the same size as the cover. So your cushion ends up looking very sad. It doesn't even matter if you get down feather filling or standard polyester fill. All the quality ones do feel different. The more important thing is to make sure they look full and are fluffed up. If you buy a cushion set from a proper textile or cushion company, most of the time they'll sell you inserts that are full and are made for the size of the cover you're buying. So in that case, you don't need to size up. This is just one of those things that I think isn't practical at all. They can only be used to hang throws and blankets, but most people only own 1 or 2 blankets, and in that case, they look much nicer outside or in a basket. And you can also store little bits and pieces or cushions in a baskets as well. You also have to hang them in a certain way so they look nice. Otherwise, they end up just being a cluttered mess. I've seen people attempt to hang books on storage ladders, but I personally find it to be a weird look and also damages the book spine. A ladder style shelf would make more sense for books, as they work more like a traditional bookcase where you can style them and store your books upright. Storage ladders make sense in photo shoots and commercial spaces like design studios, but I don't think they add much to a living room besides height. And if height is what you're looking for, floor lamps or a tall plant is probably a better and more versatile choice. I've never really understood the wood garlands trend where people have some kind of decor items and decide to place a garland or chains on top. A stack of books, place a wood garland there. An empty dish bowl, place a wood garland there. They often feel like a forced attempt to decorate with little purpose. If you personally like the look, then please disregard what I'm saying and go for it. But if you're doing it without knowing why because you see it all over socials, then stop. I think that they look like misplaced anal beads, and if you really think they're worth displaying, then well, more power to you. Not everyone can or wants to splurge on fancy decor pieces like a genuine marble tray or handmade vases, and I totally understand the appeal of fast and cheap decor pieces that look good. But I'd highly encourage you not to buy things that scream fake or just look really bad. I'm talking about things like this grass I see everywhere from IKEA, or fake distressed woods that are prevalent in Hobby Lobby. That said, there are also many cheap decor pieces that look really nice, and I use them a lot in my own home and projects, like this $8 vase and $20 mirror I got from Kmart, or this $5 vase I got from Target, or this textured vase I got for $10 on clearance, or this beautiful glass bowl from IKEA. My point is that with so many choices that look nice and are cheap, you don't have to settle for bad looking ones. Check reviews and customer photos if you're shopping online, and when possible, view items in store to see if they pass the real look test. If you get the feeling that something doesn't look quite right or just doesn't catch your attention, then give it a pass and look for something else. There's so many trends where form takes over function. For example, those huge light fixtures with exposed bulbs that everyone installed in their farmhouse kitchen as the main light source. They're either too blinding to be properly used, or if you dim them, then the room is way too dark. I talk about this in my design trends that are badly done and what to do video, which I recommend you check out if you haven't already. Another example is buying what is trendy without considering your lifestyle. If you have kids or pets, perhaps a white cloud sofa is not the best choice, even though it's really popular. TikTok can be a great source of inspiration, but it is also home to some very questionable design trends, like the infamous acrylic juice containers and shower lamps. Those acrylic beverage containers may look super aesthetic on social media, and maybe you find it satisfying to watch people decant into them, but they're so useless. Does anyone who's working full-time actually have time to rebottle milk and juices? Not to mention that they're also super wasteful. Seems silly buying additional containers for things that already come in containers and will be hidden inside a fridge. And then you're also losing the expiry date and have extra containers to wash and disinfect. Before jumping on the latest social media driven trend, think about how well the item fits into your home's overall style and whether it serves a practical purpose. Remember, you don't need a complete overhaul to create a space you love. Start small and experiment with a few of these ideas because they can make a big difference. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video on 10 tips on how to make your home look expensive, and this video on home decor you should get rid of. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.